Which brings me to the next point that I want to make, which is my own personal philosophy as I think about inclusion and the fact that it is everyone's responsibility. Not just all of you E&G leaders in the forum right now, but everyone across the business. Everyone has to take accountability to create the type of environment, that courageous container where those around you feel safe being their fullest self-expression, sharing their best ideas, their unique perspective, their challenges, right? It's up to you. It's everyone's responsibility. It does not just rest on the shoulders of E&G leaders and within those E&G environments. This is about creating the type of culture where those who are part of marginalized populations, and I know it very well, sitting at so many different intersections, but allowing that level of freedom when you're outside of your typical E&G meeting, when you're in any interaction across the business, feeling that level of safety and being able to step into that courageous container, right? That's everyone's responsibility. And I love this quote by Andres Tapia. He says, diversity is the mix and inclusion is making the mix work, right? Making the mix work where everyone feels like they belong. And that's everyone's responsibility. So what I want to do now is step through a few of the subset tools as we think about inclusion as a tool for success and helping to empower the organization to move forward in your business deliverables. One of the first ones that we've studied at Change Enthusiasm Global is the power of gratitude. Now, we found in testing a lot of different strategies to engage employees that might be feeling a lot of those more difficult emotions about this type of culture change, that frustration, that anger. One of the best ways to engage those individuals is showing appreciation, gratitude for who they are, right? For the value, for the energy, the work that they're putting in to make this thing a reality. That was the #1 most effective strategy for here in the States to engage those employees that might be having those more difficult emotions. Gratitude, appreciation goes so far. And when you think about creating that inclusive culture, sharing appreciation, not just for what people do, but who they are, the light that they bring, the uniqueness, the flavor, the energy that they embody uniquely, celebrating that will boost that level of engagement and it'll allow people to lean in, to really lean in and feel like they're a part because they feel valued, because they feel appreciated. And we all can do this from wherever we sit. Now, the second tool that I want to talk about is the power of empathy. This one is so important, especially as you think about nurturing this culture of belonging, this culture of inclusion, and also a culture that is highly resilient. In our research, and again, it sits at the intersection of change and emotion, we understood that for 78% of working Americans, we would more readily adapt to change when we feel safe and comfortable sharing our truest emotions about that change to our managers and our peers, our truest emotions. And so that's incumbent upon us as peers, as mentors, as leaders, as executives to hold that space. Again, nurturing that courageous container for employees to share those more difficult emotions, what they're being challenged by, right? To invite that. The nursing scholar Teresa Wiseman created the 4 tenets of empathy, right? It's about withholding judgment. It's about accepting someone else's perspective as their reality. It's about seeking to understand someone's feelings, their emotions, and then being able to convey that back in your own words, right? Those are the 4 tenets. That's what an empathetic practice is about. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the #1 ingredient that's required for really impactful empathetic leadership, and that's trust. That's trust. You have to be nurturing this sense of trust with your teams throughout the organization to really have effective empathy. Otherwise, you might sit somebody down and ask them how they're feeling, how things are going, and you hear, "I'm fine, everything's fine," and you can tell they're not fine. You have to be nurturing that trust. And I think about trust as a value exchange, right? I'm giving you trust by sharing something that is of value to me, what I'm challenged by, what I'm struggling with. And what you give in exchange is to hold that and let you know it's safe with me. It's a value exchange. And as leaders, so often we have to make deposits into that trust bank, a lot more at first than our employees do, sharing our own vulnerability, right? Sharing some things that we might be challenged by, which will then invite them to share back what they might be challenged by as well. Now, the final tool that I want to talk about is really more so of an idea, but it's so important as you think about authenticity, as you think about elevating authenticity and creating that inclusive culture. And that's striving to align your intention with your impact. I can't tell you how many well-intentioned leaders I have encountered that create the worst impact to their teams and their organizations. And they're always struggling to find that alignment and confused as to why my best intentions always have such a detrimental impact to those that I encounter through my words and my behavior. And what I always invite people into is to understand that in between your good intentions and then the impact you have on another is the choice that you make. It's the choice that you make, the words you choose, the actions you choose, the behavior you choose. Now, I know there's a lot of factors in here that we can't control, right? We can't control how somebody responds to our words, the behaviors. We can't control that reaction. But what we can do is get curious about how our impact might have got misaligned with our intention. Get curious. Why is it that the words that I used had that impact on you? What actions am I doing that might be having not a great impact on you? And when you can get curious and understand and step into those uncomfortable conversations, your future choices with that team, with that individual, will become better informed. And your probability of aligning your good intentions with the impact felt will go up. So strive to stay curious. Inform your future choices. Step into those uncomfortable, difficult conversations to nurture that level of connection, right? So that more consistently, your good intentions will be aligned with the impact that you wish to have with your individuals and the teams, your peers that you work with.